A recent Forbes report just revealed something that should frankly worry every man who is dating right now. A growing number of women are choosing AI boyfriends over real men. It's not about the technology. It's because these AIs provide one thing they desperately crave: unwavering emotional consistency. According to that March 2026 report, these companions don't send mixed signals, and they never pull away. As one woman stated, with her AI, "I never have to walk on eggshells." That feeling of safety from emotional whiplash is what this is all about. And that desire is the hidden reason a woman you were connecting with suddenly went cold, even when you thought things were going perfectly. This AI trend reveals the one fundamental human need that many men are unintentionally failing to meet. And in the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly what that need is, and how you can be the one to finally provide it. That need AI mastered, and most men miss, isn't about technology. It's comfort. In a Match.com survey of over 5,000 singles, almost 80% of women said their first date priority isn't being entertained. It's feeling comfortable with the man across from them. When she says she wants to feel comfortable, she's talking about feeling safe with you emotionally, able to be herself without judgment or sudden drama. You've had dates where you thought, "I was nice and tried to be fun. Why did she feel nothing?" The problem isn't your effort. It's your target. You've been aiming to make her feel impressed, when the real target all along was safe. That nothing she felt wasn't about your charm. It was her nervous system quietly saying it didn't feel safe to connect, and that's why those perfectly fine dates went cold. To change that, you need to signal safety instead of guessing and walking on eggshells. That's what I call the safe harbor framework. 6 signals will break down: predictability, presence, boundaries, communication, regulation, and character. Of these 6, which one do you suspect is your biggest blind spot? Drop its number in the comments, no judgment. And it's crucial you know them, because the first signal, predictability, is the direct antidote to that walking on eggshells feeling. Let's start there. First, let's be clear. Predictability isn't about being boring. It's about being emotionally consistent and reliable. When a woman feels like she's walking on eggshells, it's because she's experiencing emotional whiplash. She starts over-editing her texts and second-guessing what to say, trying to manage your reactions instead of just being herself. That whiplash often comes from anxious texting patterns. You go quiet for long stretches, then suddenly flood her with messages. Or you love bomb her one week and then meet her with cold distance the next. You might think you're being mysterious or spontaneous. From her perspective, her whole body and brain pick up that she can't read you. It feels like the ground keeps shifting under her, so she has to stay guarded. This isn't just in her head. Relationship research from the Gottman Institute shows that when a partner never knows which version of you is going to show up, their nervous system stays in vigilance mode, like they're always braced for something to go wrong. In that state, it's very hard to relax, be honest, or let real vulnerability in. Think of it this way. Your emotional consistency is like a steady platform for her to stand on. If that platform wobbles, her focus will always be on keeping her balance, not on connecting with you. When you're stable, she can finally put her guard down and actually enjoy being close to you. But this stability has a surprising enemy. It's often undermined by the very thing you might be trying to do to impress her: being performative. We'll break that down next. So, what is this performative enemy? It's safe harbor signal 2, choosing presence over performance. Performance mode is what you slip into when you're trying to win the date and dodge awkwardness. You start cracking constant jokes, filling every silence, or dropping achievements to manage how she sees you. You think you're keeping it light. She feels pushed, like you can't relax enough to share a quiet moment. And that pressure never feels safe. Presence, on the other hand, is being calm, genuinely listening, and okay with natural pauses. Dating isn't about what you do for her. It's about how you are with her. On your next date, drop the script. Stop trying to impress. Slow your pace a bit and put your attention on her words and body language. It's easier on you. And it's the energy that actually draws her in. She feels the gap between a guy who rushes to fill every silence and one who can sit back and let a few seconds just pass. That's the nonchalant boyfriend vibe that's recently viral on TikTok and in The Independent. Women feel safer with calm, steady men. To her, presence communicates confidence. Performance communicates insecurity. Next, we'll dig into the nice guy trap and why real respect requires boundaries. The truth is, a man without a backbone can't be a safe harbor. You thought being endlessly agreeable made you safe. But to her, it does the opposite. When you slip into nice guy people-pleaser mode, over-agreeing and avoiding conflict, she doesn't see a kind, easygoing man. She sees a man with no conviction. To her, whatever you want isn't easygoing. It's a burden because she ends up managing your emotions. You were taught this is kind. I'm exposing the impact, not shaming you. In her head, it's, if he can't stand up for Italian food tonight, how will he stand up for me or for our relationship when it actually matters? That doubt keeps her from fully relaxing or trusting your backbone, so she never feels truly safe leaning on you. This is why the third safe harbor signal has two sides. First, you have to read and respect her boundaries without her spelling them out. Just as importantly, you need your own boundaries, principles, and preferences. Organizations like the American Psychological Association and sites like Help Guide highlight the same pattern. Healthy boundaries signal self-respect and emotional maturity. So when she sees a man who honors her limits and his own, she feels safe enough to relax instead of bracing for him to collapse or cling. Having this strong internal frame is crucial. But your vague plans and unclear texts can still spike her anxiety. So next we're going to fix that. This brings us to the fourth signal of the safe harbor framework, end all confusion. The rule is simple. Where there is ambiguity, there is anxiety. You might think you're playing it cool or keeping her on her toes by being vague with plans, sending hot and cold texts, or disappearing for a while to make her miss you. And to be fair, a lot of dating advice has probably told you this is how you create attraction. From her side, though, it feels like she's being psychologically destabilized. The game you think you're playing is one she literally cannot win. So the safest move for her is to stop playing. She withdraws, stops investing, or quietly opts out. This isn't her being needy or dramatic. Attachment research shows that when communication is inconsistent, it tends to activate anxious attachment patterns. Her mind starts overthinking every pause or change in your tone, and her nervous system goes on high alert, scanning for signs you might abandon her. Your mixed signals get coded as a possible threat, which puts her into a low-level fight-or-flight state and blocks any real chance of relaxed, genuine connection. A man who feels like a safe harbor is easy to read, and his actions match his words. If his schedule changes, he tells her instead of going quiet. If he's interested, his texts and plans are steady and balanced, not all in one day and absent the next. If he needs space to focus on his own life, he says that directly instead of ghosting or fading out and leaving her to guess what went wrong. Even if you get all of this right and your communication is clear and consistent, she is often running one last, almost subconscious check on you. It's a quiet stress test that happens in small everyday moments. How you react when things don't go your way in those moments tells her everything about whether you're truly a safe harbor or just calm when life is easy. This brings us to the fifth signal of the safe harbor framework, your emotional regulation. She quietly watches how you react to everyday stress, how you grip the steering wheel in traffic, or the tone you use with an automated customer service voice. To her, that's all data. You think you're annoyed? She sees a preview of how you'll handle a real crisis with her. Snap over small stuff, and her nervous system assumes you'll be volatile when life hits. Job loss, illness, conflict. That minor outburst becomes a red flag. You're not a steady harbor under pressure. On a survival level, her body tenses, and a part of her asks, "Can I relax around this man?" Studies on dating couples find that men who can't regulate anger over small stress are more likely to end up in escalating conflict or even dating violence. Her brain treats your micro-frustrations as safety warnings. This isn't about being an emotionless robot. She just needs to feel your emotions don't control you. A man who handles his own frustration calmly isn't boring. He's a pillar of strength. But the real proof of your character isn't just how you handle stress. It's in a final test, how you treat people who have nothing to offer you in return. That brings us to the sixth and final signal: character. Forget complex dating games. The most powerful test is one you can't fake: the waiter test, also known in business and psychology as the waiter rule. And whether you notice or not, she's running a version of it on you. Women clock this automatically. You think the date is just about how you treat her. She's quietly watching how you treat everyone. Your words to her can be a performance, but how you treat a waiter, a cashier, or a janitor, people you don't need anything from, is the truth, and it makes her either relax or brace. How you treat staff shows who you are when your guard is down. A man who stays patient with a slow cashier shows her he's respectful, not just acting nice to get something. When she sees that, her body goes, "Okay, I can breathe around this guy." Use the waiter test as your checklist on dates and beyond. Notice how you greet, thank, and handle mistakes with anyone serving you. And if you catch yourself snapping, that's a character upgrade to make, not a flaw to hide. Now that you have all 6 signals of the safe harbor framework, there's one final reframe from Will Smith. He warns that trying to make her happy is a huge, almost vampiric mistake, and that it's not your job. So, what is? In our final section, you'll hear his answer: your real job in a healthy relationship. As Will Smith reflects on his 25-year marriage, his answer lands because it's so simple. Your job is not to make her happy. Your job is to create an environment where she feels safe enough to find her own happiness. With you, he realized that trying to fill another person emotionally is a demanding, impossible burden. What he calls a vampiric mistake. Like 2 empty cups trying to drink from each other. That's what so many men quietly do, over-functioning in the relationship, constantly fixing, cheering her up, smoothing everything over, and wondering why you feel drained while she still doesn't relax with you. This single idea is the turning point. You stop being the guy chasing approval and start becoming the man who builds safety and space for 2 whole people. A secure man in this context is calm instead of clingy, clear instead of covertly hoping, and steady enough that the right woman can actually exhale around him and choose him, not because he's performing, but because she feels grounded with him. The safe harbor framework you've learned is exactly how you do that. The 6 signals we've covered aren't just a list of nice things to do. They are the direct practical inputs her nervous system uses to decide safe or threat, and to register that environment of safety with you. That isn't just philosophy, it's literally how her biology is wired. Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory, a model of how the autonomic nervous system shifts between defensive and social states, describes a built-in safety switch in all of us. Think of her nervous system like it has that switch, constantly scanning for cues of danger versus cues of safety. When you show up with consistent, calm behavior, grounded presence, and clear, non-reactive communication over time, that steady pattern flips her system out of a defensive fight-or-flight mode and into the ventral vagal social engagement state. Only in that state are trust, intimacy, and true connection even possible. This framework isn't a short-term trick. When you practice it over time, you build the foundation for secure attachment, the bedrock of a deep, resilient, and genuinely satisfying long-term relationship. That's the difference between chasing dates, reactions, and chemistry spikes, and actually being able to sustain a partnership where both of you feel safe enough to show up fully. This is the upgrade from a needy boy to a secure man. From chasing female attention to becoming the kind of partner who is truly worthy of a great relationship, because being with you feels like a harbor, not a storm. Stop trying to be impressive. Start becoming safe. Master these 6 signals, and you'll build the kind of connection no technology can copy. AI can simulate words and gestures, but it doesn't have a nervous system. It can't create real felt safety, and it never has anything at stake. If you're serious about becoming that man who can create this level of secure, irreplaceable connection, hit subscribe and stay with me as we keep building on this foundation together.